Hi, I'm Molly, and my passion time is will it sink or will it float? So I have a bucket of water here, and I have hypothesis and some words that I'm going to show that what I learned for passion time. So first to start off, we're going to do some work. I'm going to do some terms. So some of my terms were density and buoyancy. So buoyancy is like the ability to sink or float. So that's what buoyancy means. And density is like the kind of like how it feels. So like a grape's like its density is soft because it has like juice in it, and then like a bowling ball's hard because it doesn't. Its density. It's the type of density it has. So we're gonna start off with the glue bottle. So I think the glue bottle will sink. I think it will sink because it is quite heavy, and there is glue in this bottle, so it has not been used. So that's why I think it will sink. So I'm gonna drop it in. So the glue bottle floats actually. So I don't think you can see, but it does float. It doesn't really sink, it floats. Like, there's a part of it that's touching the bottom, but that's because this is pretty shallow. So yeah, it does float. The next one we're going to do is the pencil. I will find it. Here it is. The pencil. So pencils, I think, will float because it is very light. Even though it's not hollow, which helps it float, it has mass in it. Mass means, I forgot to tell you, mass means like if it's hollow or if it has things inside. So a pencil is not hollow. So it floats. So the pencil floats. I don't know exactly why. I think it has to do with the density, like how light it is, and maybe the shape. So the next one is going to be the marbles. I think the marbles will sink because they're heavy and it has a lot of mass. Like, it's not hollow inside. Even though it's light, I really think it's going to sink. So, okay, I don't think you can see, but they do sink to the bottom with that colored pieces. But yes, they do sink. Alright, so next, sorry, we have to change my hypothesis. What is that? We're going to do the marker. So the marker, again, I think it will float because I tested this and I wrote my hypothesis before I did it. And I think it will float because it's very light, like before. And, sorry, my water's kind of going everywhere. It's very light. It does have mass, but I think it will float. So, it does float. You can see it's on top of the water here. Bouncy ball. So this one was one of the harder ones because it's light, but I think it will sink because my hypothesis is it sinks, and I think it will sink because it has mass in it. Even though the density, like, you can feel it, it's not hollow. Like, when you like hit it, usually you can hear if it's hollow or not. So I do think this will sink. Okay, oddly enough, it floats. It goes like up and down, but it like hits the bottom and goes up because it is a bouncy ball. So yeah. Now the next one is the eraser. Now I thought this would float because it's flat and does have mass, but it's very light. This does sink. I think the way I thought about that was wrong. I knew it. Once I did my hypothesis, pretty sure it was going to sink. So yeah, it sinks. Alright, so next we're going to go to the next hypothesis. Okay, so the next hypothesis is a very easy one that I decided just to do because I needed something else with a string. So I think it's string because it's so light, but it does have it has a little mass, but it's so light that it's going to float. I'm pretty sure it's going to float. So it does float. Floats to the top. Okay, next, the popsicle stick. So I have two types of popsicle sticks. I have a stacked and I have just a regular popsicle stick. I do think this will float just because it's very light flat, even though it does have very little mass because it's flat. I think it will float. Okay, it does float. You can't see it because it's flat, but it does float. Next is going to be the stack of popsicles. So I think this will float because it's quite heavy, and this does have tape around it. There's no other way I could do it. So because it's stuck together, it does have mass because it's not hollow. It does have air inside, so I think it will float. It'll sink. It does float. You can see. Floats. Okay, next is the blackest piece. The blackest piece I think will float because it's light, has very little mass, but I think it will float. Okay, this sinks. This was a tricky one. It sinks. I think it's because it's not hollow. It's very light, that's why it surprised me. Now we're going to do the checker. This is the checker. Checker, pretty light. I think it'll float because it's so light and it's flat, which will help it float. Because you know how bottom boats are flat, so that's what I think. So it does float, even though it has mass, which I think is a little bit weird. But it does float. But what I thought was weird when I tried this before, blackest piece sinks, but the checker floats. I think it has to do with the type of density. Has to do with the type of density. Alright, so we have the crayon. Crayon, it's light. I think it will sink. It's light, but it does have mass, that's why I think it'll sink. It does sink, so that wasn't surprising. And the next one, the plastic screws. This is what we use for cardboard box challenge. So yeah, screws. Oh, I forgot to say about pastas. I think they will sink because it's like the marble. They're pretty heavy and they do have airflow through it, but on the top pot it has mass. So they do float, but I'm gonna try dropping them in like that. They still float. They go down and then they go up. So that's what all I think. So I have a website, so if you want to go check some of my stuff out, I have a game show, and then I have my reflection on my website. So bye.